Hi, I'm Chris Moyer with Z Prime Research. Today we're joined by Denise Kruger, the Senior Vice President for Regulated Utilities at Golden State Water. Denise, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, it's my pleasure.
We are on site at Cloud for Utilities 2018 in DC, and you've just come off a wonderful panel discussion where you talked about the idea of what to keep from old processes and what to move forward in a cloud transformation. Could you talk to me a little bit about Golden State Water's approach to technology, digital transformation, and the cloud as you move forward with your business objectives?
Certainly. So at Golden State Water, we do see huge benefits of bringing in technology to our utility, benefits for the customer, benefits for our staff. And so while we see these huge benefits, we do take a very careful approach, in implementing technology. We don't want to implement technology for technology's sake, per se. So we want to make sure that the technology we bring on board adds value for our customers and adds value for our utility. So we do take a pretty careful approach, but are very ambitious, if you will, in our technology transformation.
As you're creating this strategy, obviously I would imagine a huge component of that is the change management, the process management that allows the workforce to better serve the customer. What are some of the keys that Golden State Water has looked at as they're developing a change management process?
Yeah, that's a great question because, there is a significant amount of work around change management to ensure these technologies are implemented properly. And for us, even in development of our technology strategic plan, we started with our employee base. We asked them questions. What do they need to do to make their jobs better? And when we ask them those questions and they come up with things that they think they need to make their lives better and their jobs easier, most of that centers around technology. And so from the get-go, they have already embraced the need for change, if you will, because we've asked them what they need to get their jobs done better. And so as we built out our technology strategic plan, it had their input in it from the get-go. So changing into use of technology wasn't a surprise for them. So we sort of started our change management really at the very beginning. That said, when you implement a new technology, there is going to be quite a bit of change in how people do their jobs. And so we've had to have purposeful change management processes built into our project plan. So not only are we implementing a technology, but we're implementing change management with that technology. Be that training and new skill sets, be that different jobs. So whatever piece of the change is needed, we want to make sure that was built into our project plan from the start.
And how is, from your perspective, this new process that you've rolled out with your employees, how is that ultimately helping to service your customers better?
So we just implemented a mobile workforce management program. So completely changed the way our field activities are done. So our customer-facing operators in the field and how they go out and service customers has completely changed. In the past, a customer would call with a need, either a new meter set, or if they had a problem on their premise that we needed to take care of, they would have to call. We would make an appointment. We'd have to print out that work order. So we were spending all this time printing out paper, and then it would go to the supervisor who would sort through stacks of paper and assign work to their crews, right? And so very manual, very time-intensive process, and a lot of gut experience, if you will. I'm going to have you go do this first, and then do that second, and then you're going to drive over here and do this third. And so in implementing our mobile workforce technology, it automated all of that. So now if a customer calls with an issue, there's no more printing out the paper, sorting the paper for the crews, figuring out who on what crew is going to do what and in what order. that is now all automated and it's optimized. So now we can get to the customer at the time we told them we're going to get to them, because that is input into the system. So now the customer can rely on us being there when we said we were going to be there. There's no more printing papers out and trying to figure out who's best at doing what. Those skill sets are as part of the automation process. And so the system automatically assigns work to who is best able to do that work. And it automatically assigns the routing to make sure that it is the most efficient routing, less windshield time, more customer service time. And so it has significantly improved our service directly to our customers.
And not only that, that efficient use of less windshield time drives down costs and has a positive greenhouse gas emissions impact as well, I would gather.
Absolutely. So we have seen a significant drop in, as I said, the windshield time, less idle driving time, if you will, and less idling time in a truck. And so that really does reduce your greenhouse gas emissions.
As we're talking about some of the environmental impact that the water energy nexus has on society and those accessibility issues, that customer centricity issues, one of the biggest challenges that is facing California and many states in the western half of the United States and many places globally is water conservation, consumption, drought issues. California suffered through several years of drought a few years ago. What have been some of the key steps that Golden State Water has undertaken to ensure that their customers are being well served, but are also being good environmental stewards?
Yeah, it is clearly a challenge. And in California, water supply impacts from the drought are huge and can't really be understated. And the impact that has on customers is huge. So what Golden State was able to do is really use our digital communication platform to its fullest to communicate to customers not only how much water they're using, but let them know how they can reduce that water use. And help them find ways, more creative ways to think about how they use water every day. So we were able to use sort of, programs where we engaged with customers, not just pushing information out to them, but engaging with them back and forth. Let me give you an example. We used our website to host contests with our customers to post pictures of their drought-tolerant gardens, as an example. And so we gave them the ability to put pictures up, right? It wasn't just us telling them what a garden looks like, but letting them share what their garden creation was. And then we would hold contests for the best looking, before and after garden, for example, and have prizes for that. And so we were able to use our digital technology to really engage with the customer. And so that really helped us communicate in ways that were positive instead of negative with penalties and things like that. So we saw a huge engagement with our customers around conservation. And boy, they heeded the call. They did a great job. They met our conservation goals in every single service area. And so we were able to get through the drought period without having any penalties from the state or having our customers be penalized in that way. So it was a really positive way to use the digital experience with our customers.
I'm really struck by that because human behavior, and psychologists have shown that when big groups of people are asked to do some of those collective action tasks like combating a drought, it is not as effective when they're asked to do things from the negative perspective. But precisely in that, framing it with educating your customers, engaging your customers, and empowering them to take that action in a positive frame of mind, clearly has had some beneficial effects for Golden State Water.
Most definitely. I think it really helped our customers understand that this wasn't something Golden State Water was really trying to impose. Helped them understand that there truly is a drought problem, and gave them the opportunity to choose how they are going to address it. They could address it, like I mentioned, we had the drought-tolerant landscaping contests. We also had other fun Let Your Lawn Go Golden State Water Golden Lawn Contest. And, we had other ways that customers could sort of choose what was best for them. We had many programs where we gave, low flow shower heads and fixtures and, would analyze a customer's water use to help them find ways to reduce their water. So if indoor water use was a better way for them to reduce, they had that option as well. So we tried to give them multiple ways that they could, reduce their water use and find ways to do it that it didn't negatively impact their lives. They still had beautiful gardens out front. They were just different.
Certainly. And obviously, Golden State Water doesn't control the weather or the rain or the snow. But as you look 3 years, 5 years, 10 years out into the future, some of those digital technologies certainly will play an even more important role in how you combat future water shortages and conservation needs.
Absolutely. And in the state of California, the regulators are now putting out mandatory water use limitations on utilities. So they're telling utilities, you're only going to be able to let your customers use so much water. Now, you as a utility have to figure out how to best meet those goals. And so we're going to need those kinds of communication tools, those kinds of technologies, really to help our customers understand their role in meeting the state's goals for water use. So, without those technologies, it would be nearly impossible to get that done.
Denise, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today and sharing the Golden State Water story.
My pleasure.
Thanks.